Okay.
Oh no, it is.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Pete's podcast. And today we have a special guest. He was a founding member of the world's greatest children's group, the Wiggles. And this is, he was the Red Wiggle, also otherwise known as the King of Guitars. Welcome, Murray.
Nice to see you, Peter.
Yeah, thanks. So, look, I do have numerous questions to ask about your experience in the Wiggles and how it all came about, but today I think we'll just limit to 10 questions. So, So just tell me, how did the Wiggles first come about?
Well, Anthony and Greg and I were at university together, so we were early childhood teachers. And when we finished our studies, we just decided to record an album of music for kids, and using what we knew about children and what we knew about music, and because we were musicians as well. And we didn't really think it would necessarily go anywhere. We did it mostly as a kind of hobby, and and the ABC put it out, and it went from there.
Okay, great. Okay, now, so when did you first learn guitar, and what other bands did you play in before the Wiggles?
I started playing guitar when I was about 11, I think, so in the early 70s, and when I was at school I played quite a bit with different people. My first band that did gigs was called the Transistors. That was in about 1979, and it was a time in Sydney when there were lots of places to play, so we did quite a lot of gigs. And then I had another one called Finger Guns, which did a couple of records.
Yeah, I have heard of them.
Yeah.
So, and throughout all your years as the Wiggles, what did you enjoy most and least during your time as a Wiggle, and also what do you miss the most about it?
Well, probably what I love the most is what I miss the most, and that's just the audiences. The kids were just fantastic audiences, and we had so much fun doing the shows. So I miss doing the shows, but I guess I don't miss being on the road all the time. I like touring, but you know, being away from home all the time was really a bit rough.
Okay, and so like to play guitar at your level, like I always noticed in all the videos, you were often playing guitar and dancing at the same time. Like did that come with practice, or is it just a natural talent?
No, it came with practice. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But you know, when I play, you kind of move to the music anyway. So it was just a kind of step beyond that, I guess.
Yeah. And what made you and the other guys come up with the name of the Wiggles?
I think when we recorded our first album, we thought we needed a name to go with it, and we had a song called "Get Ready to Wiggle," and
I know I requested it. At the last
you
time,
did,
yeah.
I remember, and we played it.
Yeah.
I think one of us just suggested it, and it seemed like a good sort of fun name. It's kind of the way children move anyway, and no one was going to mistake us for a heavy metal band.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And so like, about how many shows a year would you do, and how much money would the Wiggles make a year?
Well, the number of shows varied. In the early days, when we were just playing in Australia, we'd do sometimes 3 or 4 shows a day. So I remember for around 1994, that kind of era, we were doing about 500 shows a year, so a lot. We cut back a little bit after that, and the money side of it varied. Like, just depended. When we went to America, we did very well because of just the population there, and you could play bigger shows every day.
Yeah. And just briefly tell me about how each of the mascot characters, like Dorothy, Wags, Captain Feathersword, and Henry, and just briefly tell me how all they came about, and also just the idea of the big red car, and also each Wiggle having a favourite thing to do, like Jeff falling asleep.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff happened gradually with the characters. Dorothy was the first, and Dorothy came from a song that I wrote just called Dorothy the Dinosaur, and we decided we should have a dinosaur character in there, and she was very popular. I think the next one was probably maybe Captain Feathersword, and that was we played a children's party, and there was another entertainer who did a pirate character, and we thought that was a character that the boys especially really responded to, but we wanted to make him fairly benign, so we didn't want him to be scary, so that's why we gave him a sword made of a feather, so he just tickled people. The other ones too, I think Wags and Henry both came from songs. Really, we had the songs first, and then it went from there. And the same with the Big Red Car. There was Greg actually wrote the first Big Red Car song, and it was really about wearing your seatbelt. So it went, jump in the car and buckle up.
Yeah.
And so it was a way of getting that message across. And then so we built like a fairly primitive car to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah. And just one other quick question there, like because. Why did you choose the colour red? Because it was already used by your shirt. And,
Oh yeah, I don't know. It was just because the song was Big Red Car. Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay.
I don't think there was that much thought given to that.
Okay.
And then the characteristics of each of us, well, the guitar playing was because I did play guitar and I really loved it. So it was kind of with most of the things it was sort of elements of our personality that came through. The thing with Jeff sleeping was partly because he was an early childhood trained and in the very early days he wasn't as comfortable talking to the audience as much, so the whole falling asleep and the children waking him up was something that he could do to interact with them without having to talk too much. But it's also he's a pretty laid back guy, so
absolutely,
it kind of suited him.
Like I could sit here all night asking how each song was formed, but one song that I'll ask about now is Hot Potato.
Hot Potato was actually written by Anthony's brother John.
Okay.
And before we really started the Wiggles, we used to go busking. When we were at uni, we used to go busking, and John had this song which actually went Hot Tamale, Hot Tamale.
Okay.
And we used to do it, and people loved it. And I think when we were trying to make it into a song for children, we thought most Australian kids wouldn't know what a tamale was. Okay. So we changed it to Hot Potato.
Yeah. And like other children's artists, like Peter Coombe, High Five, and of course the Hooly Doolies. Like, was it difficult competing against them?
We never really kind of looked at it as competing. I think Peter Coombe was around for quite a while before us, and was quite successful. We were kind of doing something slightly different because it was just him by himself mostly. Yeah. He sometimes had a band, but and then High Five and the Hooly Doolies kind of came after us, but we were really so busy doing our thing, we didn't take a lot of notice of what other people were doing, so we didn't really think of it as competition. In the same way that there's lots of rock bands for adults, or lots of bands, we thought there's lots of space for lots of different people.
Okay. Okay. I recently read somewhere that on one of your tours in New York, right, you had to check in under false names. like, why do you have to do that, and how did it feel?
We started doing that because in America especially, people would, they weren't really stalking us, but there was kind of a bit like that. We'd check in and sometimes people would try to contact us, but adults, not kids of course. And so they would just find out where we were staying, and if we were checked in under our own names, they'd phone the hotel and ask to speak to us, and the hotel just assumed that they didn't know that much about the Wiggles, so they didn't know that these people were treating us as kind of famous people or celebrities or whatever. And so it just got to the point where we were getting calls in the middle of the night, things like that, and so we just thought it was easier to do that.
Okay, well, I just have one more question now. Sure. So throughout your 21 years, what was the craziest, almost embarrassing thing that ever happened to you throughout that time?
That's a good question. Nothing particularly embarrassing happened. I guess I don't know. I guess I fell off the stage a couple of times. It wasn't all that embarrassing, but it was a little crazy. Because we go into the audience. One time at the Hammersmith Apollo in London, I was getting down off the front of the stage and my foot caught, and I just basically face planted. Fortunately, I didn't land on anyone because that would have been 100 kilos landing on a little kid wouldn't be good. But no, I didn't land on anyone. And another time we were in LA, and there was some stairs at the front of the stage, similar thing. But I had a guitar on there, and I fell with the guitar. Didn't break it, but there was a pretty horrendous clang.
Okay. Well, Murray, thanks so much for your time. And until next time on Pete's podcast, keep on wiggling.